I don't have a single positive thing to say about this book. And again, this is why I think maybe I received a different copy. Hello, welcome back to my channel. We are in really comfy vibes today. I'm in my PJs. It's nighttime and I felt like, why not have a nice little chat about some books? So in today's video, I thought I would talk about some popular BookTok books and if they're just worth the hype or not, because there's a lot of books out there that are really, really hyped. And some of these books I have read and been very, very disappointed. But I'm here to tell you which ones are actually just worth your time or not. I'm gonna break this into multiple categories. So we're gonna start with fantasy, dark romance, contemporary romance, and if we've got time, historical fiction. Oh, hello, Future Kiani here. We, in fact, did not have time for historical fiction. I'm gonna do multiple books. We're gonna talk about a lot of people's favorites. Please don't get offended. I tend to have a lot of rogue opinions, and some of these books are people's favorite books of all time. There have been popular books that I've discovered that are actually really, really good and are worth the hype. So this won't be a negative Nancy video. There will be books in here that are worth your time. There will just be a few sprinkled in that are not worth your time. Let's start off with fantasy, specifically romantasy. I actually used to be quite a high fantasy reader before I got TikTok and was on BookTok. I really want the plot to be engaging from start to finish. So that is my consensus when it comes to critiquing a fantasy book. Fourth Wing. Listen, I am in fact a basic bitch and I do love Fourth Wing. I actually think Fourth Wing's really good. I think the whole Empyrean series as a whole is really good. Now, Fourth Wing specifically, you can kind of tell Rebecca Yarros has written a fantasy book for the first time with that book. I still think it's written well. It doesn't have a lot of fantasy elements in the book. However, Iron Flame, unpopular opinion, to me is the best book in the series because one, the stakes are higher, two, the plot is really, really engaging, and three, I feel like her fantasy level of writing really elevated in Iron Flame. It's extremely action-packed, so much is going on. The characters are very, very developed in Iron Flame. And then with Onyx Storm, that book was also heavily critiqued all over TikTok. I personally think that Onyx Storm is a really well-written book. I think the plot was very engaging from start to finish. I think there were so many elements in that book where you could not guess where the plot is going throughout the rest of the series. I feel like all the characters were written with great depth and the side characters were so good. I was genuinely thoroughly entertained throughout the entirety of Onyx Storm. So yes, the Empyrean series, Fourth Wing as a whole, yes, definitely worth the hype. And Xaden Ryerson, let me tell you, #1 book boyfriend, no one compares. That man, the things that come out of his mouth is otherworldly. It's genuinely something that you just cannot think of. I cannot fathom the way my jaw was every single time Xaden Ryerson spoke. Everything he says is next level, top tier. So yes, anyone telling you that Xaden's overhyped, they're simply lying. I don't know what to say. Like, reading's subjective, and you cannot like Empyrean series, but not liking Xaden Ryerson, that's crazy. This next book, okay girlies, do not come for me. ACOTAR. Now, first book, worth the hype? Absolutely not. Second book, I actually really liked the second book. I thoroughly enjoyed. Now, the third book, I DNF'd. So I'm not gonna do the series because I haven't actually finished the series, but the first book, ACOTAR in general, no, I don't think it's worth the hype. It tends to over-explain a lot in her books. I feel like she goes around in circles when she could just get to the point. I don't like specifically, especially in a lot of popular fantasy books, when authors throw in everything at the end. You need to make the entire book engaging. I did not like a lot of things in this first book specifically. However, I thoroughly enjoyed the FMC Feyre. I really, really liked her. I felt she was a really well-written character. Everything else about the book, did not like. I'm not gonna say this is a complete no. I'm gonna say this is a maybe. It might be worth your time. I feel like if you've read other romantasy books or other fantasy books before reading ACOTAR, I don't think you'll be that impressed with it. So make that what you wish. It's a maybe. It's a maybe from me. Quicksilver. No. Absolutely not worth the time. This book to me is extremely overhyped. I spent nearly 600 pages learning about metal. The plot in this book is pretty much non-existent. The entire book is the FMC doing things with metal, and then they go to Pound Town. That's pretty much the book. I think the writing, the chapters for one, are way too long. Two, the characters are not fleshed out enough. I do not think they're given any depth. They're not interesting. I do not feel connected to them at all. There was one character that I liked. His name was Carrion. That's it. The MMC, he was okay. He wasn't amazing. And I feel like the FMC and the MMC, when they started to connect, their chemistry just kind of just happened. It wasn't really like, oh wow, it was just bam, and now we're just going to Pound Town. Not my thing. I don't think this is a very engaging fantasy book. I found that there were so many things lacking in this book, plot specifically. I don't think the writing was that great. Very average. No, I don't think it's worth your time. So this next book, I actually need people to explain it to me, of why it's so popular, of why it's so loved and adored. Powerless. Hell no. Not worth your time. The writing is so below average, in my opinion. This book felt like it was plagiarized from multiple books in one. It was so incohesive. It was ripping off Hunger Games to start, and the writing was genuinely abysmal. I'm so sorry. I do not think this book is written well at all. So much telling me instead of showing me. The FMC wasn't really likable. You don't really feel as connected to her. The MMC Kai, sure, he's very cute. I can understand the appeal with Kai, but that's the only good thing about this entire book. It was very, very predictable. The trials were so lackluster. It was not exciting at all. The pacing of the story was genuinely terrible. Like, it started off okay, and then the plot just started dissolving and dissolving and dissolving so bad. 1 minute I'm in trials, the next minute she's just like in the palace. It just made no sense. I don't understand. I really do not understand, because the writing, like, I know reading is subjective, but like, to me, objectively, the writing in this book is terrible. Sunrise on the Reaping, yes, 100% worth your time. Suzanne Collins has written one of the best series, dystopian world, I have ever read. This is how you write a YA/new adult book. It is so engaging. The characters are phenomenal. You feel so connected to all of them. The pacing of the story is great. It's such a unique world. It does not feel copy and paste. It is so distinct that when you're in it, you're like, yes, this is Hunger Games. 100% worth your time. Hamish's backstory in this book had me bawling my eyes out. You will feel so deeply connected to him. I cannot express enough how well written this book is. Now, Hunger Games is my god tier series. Like, I love Hunger Games so much, but I think objectively, Sunrise on the Reaping is written better. I think Suzanne Collins' work really elevated. I think her writing has really improved. Read it before the movie comes out, because it will change your life. It is actually so phenomenal. Now it's time to go to the dark side with all the unhinged ones. The psychos, some dark, okay, not all of it's unhinged and psycho. There's some good intro dark romances out there that are not so scary. I'm not really selling it, am I? But let's go into dark romance. One of my favorite genres. My first dark romance I read was on Wattpad. It's everything. Let's start off with the most basic recommended dark romance book all over BookTok. The one that everyone says you should start with, Lights Out. No, I don't think it's worth the hype. I understand a lot of people said you got to listen to the audiobook. Still no. One, this entire book has zero plot. What's the plot in this book? It's non-existent. It doesn't exist. One, the FMC is really, really annoying. Two, it's not funny. And if you thought it was funny, I love that for you. I simply did not think it was funny. FMC is supposed to have a real kink. She's supposed to be real into like mask play and whatever, and it just goes nowhere. And then there's some random mafia plot thrown in towards the end, which made no sense. And the MMC, like, he does thirst traps on TikTok. That's not the vibe. I don't know. Me personally, ick. I don't see it. But on top of that, I actually just don't think it was written very well. And I don't think it was executed really well. I don't think the characters were fleshed out enough. I mean, Josh, as an MMC, he was kind of interesting, and like I did like that he was a little bit unique. I think there's way better intro dark romance books out there. Why is everyone recommending Lights Out? It is so average. Like I don't understand. I don't know. I know I'm probably just sounding like an absolute hater, but I really don't think it was good. I'm just gonna do this series as a whole because this is everywhere on BookTok, everywhere. Legacy of Gods. Yes, definitely worth the hype. Rena Kent writes some real good unhinged MMCs, okay? Now, I read a few of these before they were traditionally published, specifically God of Malice, and that book gets a lot of hate. But let me tell you, before it was traditionally published, it was a lot crazier, and I actually prefer that version, and it's wild because a lot of people don't know about Killian Carson. A lot of people don't know what Killian Carson's about because she dialed that scene down. I will say some of these books are a miss, in my opinion. Some of these books are slightly overhyped, but majority, this entire series as a whole, yeah, worth your time. If you've never read a dark romance book before, maybe don't start here. But I do think this is like a medium. I don't think it's too crazy. I don't think there's like really heavy themes. Like you're not gonna sit there and get emotional and sad. It's just like some unhinged college kids who go a bit rogue. My personal favorite is God of Ruin and God of Fury. I think they're the best in the series. Books that you can definitely skip, God of Pain. I was in pain reading this book. There's actually no plot until the last 25%. I was reading this like, this is embarrassing. Annika's embarrassing, and Creighton is just the biggest ick of my life. That's the second book of the series. I truly recommend to skip it, but like you can try it. And then the last book in the series, God of War, I actually think that's terrible as well. But that one's terrible to me because I don't think it's written well. I think the characters are all insufferable. I genuinely feel like those two characters, Eli and Ava, you can't convince me they even like each other, just how they acted that entire book. I don't think how Rena Kent handled the mental health elements in that book was well at all. Like, I just really think it was stereotyped. So those are the two books where I'm like, hell no. The rest in the series, yeah, it's a fun time. So this next book is my least favorite book of all time. And I understand a lot of people love this series. And I'm not talking about the series, okay? Because I DNF'd the series after the first book. I'm simply talking about this one book, Corrupt. Hell no. No, it's not worth your time. I think it's terrible. I think it's genuinely terrible. It's actually the worst book I've ever read in my life. I think every single character in this book is insufferable. The plot is terrible. This MMC, Michael, is the worst MMC I've ever read. He treats the FMC terrible the whole book. I don't even think he likes her. And Rika is so insufferable and pathetic. I was reading this book like, I hate both of you. And these horsemen are the biggest ick I've ever read about. Like, it's actually pathetic. They peaked in high school. Go back to your adult lives. Like, why are you coming back to high school, you bunch of losers? I'm sorry. I'm really hating now. I actually hate this book a lot. A lot of my friends have said, Kiani, but the rest of the books in the series are so good. I didn't make it to the rest because I genuinely hated the first. So come to your own conclusion if you want to read this series. But the first book, let me tell you, terrible. The Maid series, 110% worth your time. This is not only one of the best mafia romance series of all time, this is the best intro dark romance series to start, and some of my favorite mafia men. The things I discovered about myself reading this series, it's next level because I wasn't really familiar with the mafia game until I read the Maid series, specifically The Darkest Temptation. That is where I discovered my love for the snatching trope that I like to call Stockholm. And this series has a special place in my heart because I genuinely think each book is really, really, really good. Now, I will say, the first book, I'm not the biggest fan of. I did think The Sweetest Oblivion, I did think the MMC kind of just lusted after her, if I'm being honest. I don't really think it was giving love. But like, the lust was fun though. And Nico Russo as an MMC, hot. Didn't like the FMC. The Madness Obsession is next level obsession. He likes her so much. No, he's obsessed with her so much. He put himself into therapy for years because of his obsession with her. Russian Mafia gets me going every time. The Brava gets me going every time. Every time I hear a Russian nickname, I'm like an actual cat in heat. And this book will have you feral. It will have every single girl feral. Like the way Christian Alistair admires Gianna, and Gianna is one of my favorite FMCs of all time. She is such a baddie and I am so severely obsessed with her. So yes. However, the best in the series, in my opinion, the most underhyped book, The Darkest Temptation, hell yeah. Ronan Markov is amazing. He is the true depiction of a mafia man, and I love that. He's a little scary, but I like scary. I just love when my mafia men are just like a little sassy. And Ronan is like the funniest man I think I've ever read about. Like his inner monologue had me kicking and giggling my feet and just like dying of laughter, because this man was so angry that he was so obsessed with her and found her so amazing. It was just so funny to me, and their dynamic is the best in the series. I feel like their couple dynamic was really, really funny. Their banter was great. I loved the plot. Amazing. So Maid series, 100% worth your time. Like it is genuinely mafia crack that everyone needs to experience at least once in their life. So this next book, I actually don't know if I just received a different copy to everyone else out there, because I think this book is terrible. I also think this book is not written well at all, and I do not see the hype in any regard. Like I don't have a single positive thing to say about this book, but every single person on BookTok loves it. Every single person rates it god tier 5-star mafia, and I'm sitting here like, no, 1 star. The Predator. No, I do not think it's worth the hype or your time. This is one of the worst mafia books I've ever. I don't even want to call it a mafia book because there's no mafia in it. No mafia elements are in this entire book. You want to know the plot of this book, okay? You have an FMC who spends the entire time showing up to her enemy's apartment. And I'm doing quotation enemies because this is advertised as enemies to lovers. It's not enemies to lovers. The biggest fake enemies to lovers I've ever read, because the FMC is in her enemy's apartment the whole book. She's just showing up at his house all the time. It's the most ridiculous plot. Nothing happens. This book is full of telling me instead of showing me. I'm being told this entire book that the FMC is some genius coder, that she's really, really smart. Yeah, she doesn't do anything the whole book. She doesn't code. She doesn't do anything the entire book. And the way this author writes as well, it's just going around in circles to get to something so basic. She repeats herself 10 times to say such a simple sentence, and it actually drives me insane because like, just continue the story, like just get to the point. This is why I think maybe I received a different copy, because all my friends and everyone on BookTok's like 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars. I'm sitting here like terrible, actually terrible, not worth your time. Now we can do the fluffy books. Contemporary romance, one of my favorite genres, but there's so many subcategories in contemporary romance, but we simply don't have time to be doing all of them. So we're just going to do a broad contemporary romance popular books, starting off with yours truly. Yes, worth the hype. I did not expect to like this book so much. I am not a rom-com girl. It's not my category. It's not my genre. And when I was recommended this book by a friend, I thought to myself, Kenny, you're not gonna like this book. Loved this book, 5 stars. I think Abby Jimenez is the best rom-com author. She's just one of the best contemporary romance authors. Her writing is so, 1, easy to digest, but 2, she throws you straight into the plot. The characters are so unique. They're all written with such great depth. I love how each romance story is something I've never read before. Every one of her stories is so unique. It is not copy and paste in any regard. I loved this book, yours truly, so much. And the MMC, Jacob, he is such a unique character. He struggles with mental health, and the way that Abby Jimenez wrote it was just so relatable, and I adored the FMC Brown in this as well. One of my favorite FMCs of all time, because she sticks up for her guy, and I just feel like that's so rare to find these days in books. So yes, yours truly, 100% worth your time. Okay, so sticking on the rom-com wave, People We Meet on Vacation. No, absolutely not. I do not think this book is 1, written good, 2, it is boring. This book was like watching paint dry, and I did not like any of the characters. I also just think the concept of the story is just really silly. Why would I want to read about 2 best friends? One of them has a girlfriend, and he takes his girl best friend on yearly trips, and the girlfriend can't come, and then he ends up getting with his best friend. It just felt like emotional cheating the whole time. Like, no thank you. Absolutely not. I also just feel like Emily Henry's writing is just very average. I'm not really connected. I don't really care. Like, she doesn't make me care enough about these characters for me to want to read the story, for me to want to continue on. And no, I do not think it's worth the hype. I really don't. I even tried to watch that movie. I lasted 3 minutes and I was like, oh, turn this off. Kiani, this is not for you. If I was to pick a rom-com author that is worth the hype, it would be Abby Jimenez, in my opinion. So sorry. The Windy City series. Yes, it's worth your time. Yes, it's worth the hype. This is the best sports romance series of all time. The best sports romance series ever. I don't think anything will top it. The Windy City men actually need to be studied. What Liz Tomford puts in her books is on another level. You will be feral for all of them. Each one of these men is so top tier. The mouths on all of these men, I need to insert something here so you can see. Crazy. But also the found family in this series as a whole is so good. You will feel so connected to each one of their romance stories. Every single one of them is really unique. I love the elements of sports and how she wove that into the story. It wasn't too much, but it also wasn't too little where you forget it's a sports romance. Absolutely amazing. My personal favorite, The Right Move, the best book in the series, the best love story to ever exist. Ryan Shea, the best man. I cannot express enough. If you want an MMC that will sit there and do everything for you, acts of service, and just make your day better, go read The Right Move. It will change your life. 100% worth the hype. Like, I was avoiding reading this series for so long because it was so hyped and I was really like, oh, I don't want to be disappointed. I was not disappointed. It is amazing. And Liz Tomford, her writing is exceptional, especially her romances. You'll be kicking and giggling the entire series. Like, it's a great time. Go read it. The Twisted series by Ana Juan. Look, personally, I feel like Ana Juan's very hit or miss. Some of her books I like, some books I really don't like. Maybe worth your time. It's not exceptional. It's not amazing. I did like Twisted Games and Twisted Hate in this series. I didn't read Twisted Love, so I don't know if that book's good. The other book, Twisted Lies, I wasn't really a fan of. It's decent. It's not exceptional. I don't think any of the books are above a 4-star. I do think there's like more elevated romance stories out there. But what I love about Ana Juan is that she loves to write very unique characters. I love her diversity. I really enjoy the fact that she includes diversity in throughout all of her books. And I do like the way Ana Juan writes as well. Like, some of her like sentences that she depicts in her books are quite poetic. I do like, but I do think a lot of her MMCs are very copy and paste. Like, I'm reading a book, I'm like, I've read this before, especially in Kings of Sin series. That's a whole different series, but Twisted series, look, it's a maybe worth your time. Like, give it a go. You might like 1 or 2 books. I don't think you'll like every single book, but it's a maybe. So we are in fact going to end the video with the most hyped book series on TikTok that everyone tells you to read, that I was avoiding reading for so long because it was so hyped. Boys of Tommen. Listen, this series is 1000% worth the hype. 1,000,000% exceptional. 1,000,000% worth your time. I cannot express enough. This series has actually changed my brain chemistry. Like, you will never feel so connected to characters like this series. No wonder everyone raves about it, because it is exceptional. I can't. I've only read Binding 13, Keeping 13, Saving 6. I'm about 40% into redeeming 6 now. And when I say my life has changed, brain chemistry altered. I love every single one of these characters. The found family is phenomenal. The writing is great. Like, the way Chloe Walsh writes stories, the way that Chloe Walsh depicts stories, it's so detailed. Like, you feel like you're actually immersed in the book. It is amazing. And the way these characters will make you will feel so related to at least one of them. Like, they're all going through something. These teenagers will have you going through it. Like, the tears that I have shed for these teenagers, you're going to want to jump in the book and protect them. Phenomenal. I have not finished it yet, but this is turning out to be God tier. 6 stars, exceptional. This is the most hyped series on BookTok. And you know what? It's for a reason, because it is amazing. Like, actually changed my life. You will listen to one of the songs in this book and then you'll just start crying because you'll think of the characters, or you'll just be thinking of these characters at least every day. Like, there's not a day that goes by where I don't think about Joey and Aoife or Johnny and Shannon. Like, I think about them every day. It's actually, it's all consuming. The complexity and depth put into this series is so layered. It's so many levels of emotions that you will feel. It is worth every single minute because you will never read anything like it. Go read it. I feel like we've all been there where we've read a popular book from BookTok and it's either really disappointed us, or we've either loved it and it's become our entire personality. Like, we've all been there. And these are just the ones that I think personally are overhyped and the ones that I think are worth your time. But obviously, reading is subjective. And yeah, if you've made it this far, thanks for coming, and I will see you next time.